Man, brotherhood starts in the firehouse. It don't start in the chief's office or at headquarters or anywhere else. You can work at a horrible fire department that has really no culture, no support from the top. It's huge and nobody knows anybody outside of, captain, lieutenant, sergeant or whatever. But it don't have to be that way at your house, at your firehouse. So start the brotherhood there and then it'll grow.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Overhaul Podcast, Episode 6. This is the podcast where we expose the problems and provide the solutions. No fluff, just raw conversations to sharpen the fire service and the people in it. My guest today, Chief Eddie Robinson. I've had the pleasure of meeting this man in person, and he's probably arguably one of my favorite chiefs serving in the fire service today. And I guarantee you after this conversation, he's going to be one of your favorites as well. So without further ado, Chief Eddie Robinson, how you doing, sir?
Hey man, I'm doing great, Preston. How are you?
I'm doing good. Like, we were talking a little bit about the weather and the differences between Colorado and Georgia. And, we got our uniqueness out here, but I don't know if I can operate out there in Georgia with the weather you guys got.
And man, we got a term we use around Cherokee County all the time. We say beat the heat. You got to pour that water in.
We got a few guys from Florida that work in Colorado in the area that I work in now, and they said it's easy out here now. Like, when it's snowing outside, getting in gear and training, they're like, it's nothing. It's a breeze.
Y'all don't have any oxygen out there though. There's
Very true. Yeah, that's a difference maker for sure. Real quick, for the people that don't know who you are, I hope everybody does, but for the people that don't know who you are, let's just recap your time and experience in the fire service, which is a long time, I know, and it's probably a lot to cover, but just give these people a little bit of perspective on who you are.
My name's Eddie Robinson. I grew up in upstate South Carolina, a very rural community. And honestly, there's a Rock Hill, South Carolina's in the community or the county that I grew up in. And my great uncle was actually the fire chief there. And I went to a fire station tour when I was in the 4th grade, and they got banged out on an alarm. Whether it was real or not, I still don't know to the day. But man, these guys were dropping down poles and throwing their hip waders on, their boots and their coat and on the back of the truck, and they went screaming down the road. And I'm like, holy crap, man, that's the life for me right there. So I was kind of sold from a very young age, but rocked on till I was around 16 years old. We had no fire protection in my community. So some of the elders, along with my great uncle, in the community, decided that they wanted to start a volunteer fire department, really just to get the insurance ratings down, which a lot of volunteer fire departments, I think, started that way. And I jumped on board at 16 and it was just a great ride through the volunteer department, man. I learned so much because we had to build a building. We had no hydrants. We had no training. We had 2 sets of gear that stayed on the truck, a couple of air packs that never come off the truck because we couldn't get the things filled. We literally had to send them away to have them filled. So every call we went to, it was just a bunch of guys coming together Indian style, just doing the best job that they could do. But man, it really caught on and the momentum caught on. And before long, we were building fire trucks out of old concrete mixers, tanker trucks, and we dug poured wells to our bored wells with big tanks out throughout the community. We had 6 of those. You actually had to back the fire truck under them and open a gate valve and dump water through the overflow to fill the tank with. That was our water supply. So it was a great adventure. And then I was off to the United States Army for a while, had a break in service, came back in 1994 in Cherokee County after getting married. And I became a volunteer in Cherokee County because 2/3 of our county here had 0 fire protection. We're north of Atlanta, and we have really exploded as far as our population goes, but we still have a lot of rural area as well. But over the years, I they imposed a tax district, and District 2 became a thing, and they started hiring career firefighters. And I was one of those first guys that got hired as a career firefighter. January 4, 1999 was my first experience with a career department. We had a little recruit school, and then I was at a station by myself, one person. Had an old 40 Grumman. It was a cab over truck, 750 gallons of water, a two-stage pump. You could pump it in pressure or volume. But we had some training, we had some gear, and we started really to become a professional organization throughout the county at that point. And man, we've just grown from there to where we are today. After the tragedy of the Worcester Fire Department's cold storage fire that killed 6 of our brothers, the county determined they needed a kind of a health and safety officer to really start driving, honestly, some safety culture at that point. And I took that job. And from there, I worked on until I became training chief, and then assistant chief, and then fire chief. And man, I've never looked back. It's been a great experience. I got a wonderful wife, a wonderful family. I got a wonderful fire department. We're aggressive. We got a great culture. I could not be more blessed. Got people like you as friends. You got a beautiful daughter and a wife. I've met them, love them. It just, man, I get to experience all those things, and it's amazing. So that's kind of a nickel tour of my life through the fire service, anyway.
Well, I appreciate that, Chief, but it brings one word to me when I hear you tell that story, and when you talk about elders and people that built fire departments from the ground up, concrete trucks, right, and used to converting concrete trucks like that. I think of commitment. I mean, the level of commitment you have to want to start something like that and be a single resource fireman by yourself at a station. That level of commitment is something that I don't know how much we see actually today for the fire service.
Commitment's one of our 3 core values at Cherokee County. We believe in being committed to our profession, being committed to each other. We're committed to our community. You have to commit everything that you do. You have to commit, and you have to really do it aggressively. Commit to your training, 100%. Commit to your vision, your values, your mission, your people, your brothers and sisters. If you truly want to grow a great fire department and it be a phenomenal place to work, commitment is probably one of the key attributes and key values I think that you got to have.
Beautiful. I agree, Chief. I came up in the Navy. I wasn't an Army guy. I was a Navy guy. And honor, courage, commitment are the 3 core values of the Navy and the Marines.
I know.
So I agree with you there. Before we get too far down, I want to do a moment, give you a moment to acknowledge family first and give a shout out. You already mentioned my wife and daughter, who's had a great time with you in Pensacola a couple times now. But why don't you go ahead and give a shout out to your own family and give them their moment?
Man, I have got a wife, believe it or not. We have been September 2nd. We've been married for 36 years. And I jokingly say, I don't know how I put up with that woman that long, but it's definitely the shoe is on the other foot. Because man, she has loved me. And sometimes I have no idea why, because I've not always put her first. I put the profession first. I put friends first. I put lots of things. And, one thing that I'll say before I get off of here is get your priorities in order, brother. Faith, family, fire service. I mean it, hands down. I don't care how you pray, how you believe. I believe in Jesus. I'm a Christian man, but your faith is your faith. You have to have it, regardless of what it is. And right after that, family. And when you talk about family, put that spouse first. Without that spouse, you cannot stay together and raise those children the way that you should. And then obviously bring your fire service family in behind that. But got a wonderful wife, two great kids. They're both healthy. My son been on the job about 7 years. He's over at Forsyth County Fire Department. I bust his chops a lot because he's in the hazmat. He gets the tiller also. He's at a truck house, and I bust his chops because when he got transferred back to a tiller house, he was upset because he had to leave the hazmat station. And I'm like, dude, really? You are not my son. We've got to check. Because it's everybody's dream to be a tillerman, you know. But he does a great job over there. He's about to get married. His future wife, my future daughter-in-law, is also a firefighter at Forsyth County. And I love her to death. Rachel, man, she's amazing. It's funny. I told him, I said, dude, if you mess it up with her, you're gonna have to find somebody else to call daddy because I'm keeping her. And then my daughter has 6 children, six of my 6 grandchildren, all from her. And she called me just over a year ago, and she says, "Dad, I'm going to do it." Unfortunately, faced in the middle of a divorce situation, and she says, "I'm going to become a firefighter." She's always kind of talked about it, and she grew up, lived. She knows everybody in the organization from years past, and I said, "Well, girl, you better get your body ready." And then, 7, 8 months later, she actually sent me a picture of side by side of when she called me that day and then the day that she started recruit school. And it was absolutely unbelievable what she did to put the work in to get her body ready for training. Because our recruit school is not a game. If you come to recruit training in Cherokee County, you've got to put in the work. You've got to perform, or you're not. We're not going to allow you to be part of our family if you can't perform aggressively and aggressively perform the job of firefighter. Sorry, you just can't do it. So, man, yeah, I'm really proud. She's finished all the recruit fire extrication and all that, and now they're into their advanced EMT segment. But she'll graduate on January 30th, and she'll be assigned to field operations and working in my fire department. And I'm super excited about that. Man, legacy means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
This touching people, and because I know how people would touch me, without my mentors and people that kind of paved the way for me, I wouldn't have an opportunity to do what I do today. So yeah,
Well,
fired up.
I tell you, Chief, I got to meet your daughter at Pensacola at COBC this year. And I tell you, I wouldn't want to do a combat challenge against her. She was looking pretty fit and she was ready. And you got to be a proud daddy in the fact that she was able to transform herself for the job, because I'm pretty sure that message you talked about your recruit school of like, if you can't get through that, you can't be one of us. I'm sure that really resonated with her and she took it seriously.
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
I hope to get to meet your son someday. Hopefully you can bring him out to Pensacola, or I'll just come out to Cherokee and hang out for a few days.
Come on, man. We'd love to have you. You can stay at my house, or we'll put you on a truck somewhere.
Yeah, we do got to have we have to have an intervention about his hazmat love over the tiller. That's yeah.
Hey, we got to have hazmat people. Don't misunderstand.
Well, yeah, the first time I met Mike Champo, he was teaching, and he said he was talking about he hinted at hazmat a little bit. He's like, "Where are my glowworms at? Where's the glowworms?" And I'm a hazmat tech, and I didn't want to raise my hand. And he's like, "There's no glowworms in here." And I was like, I just put my head down.
Right.
Yep.
Champo, what a guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You hinted a little bit at legacy. You have a son and daughter in there, and obviously you've built yourself your own legacy through the ranks at Cherokee Fire and through the volunteer organization. People say they don't care about legacy, but I beg to differ. Again, can you talk about why, even if they disagree, legacy is important?
Man, I'm sorry. Recently we lost one of our brothers, Chris King, through a courageous battle with cancer. And one thing Chris told us the day he retired, with 300 people in the room, we cooked a big breakfast together and just had a phenomenal time. But he said, "Man," he said, "don't forget me. Please just don't forget me." And that just kind of resonated with me, because I'll never forget Chris King, the impact that guy had. And he was a sergeant. He worked for 19 years, and he could have been anything that he would have aspired to be. But he just wanted to be that guy. Truckee, wanted to teach. He would tell you absolutely, regardless of what your rank was, if you were stepping out of bounds, he'd pull you right back where you needed to be. And he just could light a fire. He could inspire you. And, I want to be that kind of inspiration to people, because again, I had people that did that for me in my life. And without those people that carry legacy, and I carry their legacy, and I want to continue to carry their legacy through the people that I may have been able to motivate a little bit along the way. So I think legacy is uber important, not only family legacy, but your professional legacy, the mark that you make, what you leave behind. I'm a firm believer in everything you touch, you should touch it with the attitude of making it better than it was when you found it. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but
No, I tell you, um, when I was in the Navy, my first aircraft carrier was the Kitty Hawk in Japan, and I spent 4 years there, and I spent very formative years from 18 to 22 there, trying to figure my own stuff out. But I was cocky, I was arrogant, but I was good at my job. And I thought that when I left the aircraft carrier, I transferred to San Diego. I thought, it was like, man, those guys are going to be missing me so much because of what I bring to the table. I'm so good at my job that, man, they're going to be hurting. But I didn't pour into anybody, and I didn't mentor people. I was just a hot dog, cocky young man. And when I checked in with somebody 2 weeks, not even a long time after I left the carrier, and I'm like, how are they doing out there, man? I bet you they're struggling. He's like, actually, no one even talks about you, man. He's like, actually, things are probably running a little bit better because you're not here. Man, that was the biggest shot to my ego and a huge wake-up call to what legacy really means and leaving an impact in people's lives, what that really means. And I fortunately learned that at a young age, and I'm trying to not do the same thing in my fire service career.
yeah. Along with that, you got to maintain your humility too. I know for an absolute fact that the day I pack my boxes and move out of this office on a Friday, that somebody's going to unpack a bunch of boxes on a Monday, and they're going to take this ball and they're going to run with it. And my absolute vision, prayer, dream was to be that they did it better than I could ever even think about it, because it's going to be somebody from within the organization that I served with. And that really is a big part of what legacy is all about, is just being able to carry it forward through somebody else, because your time's going to come, your time's going to be up, and then what? Uh, so I think we're prepared here. We It's been intentional. We put a lot of energy into ensuring that we're 3D. That's a blue card thing. I know a lot they're
Yep.
they're on opinions about blue card, but we made it our own and it works great for us. But regardless, I think you got to have a bench in anything that you do, and really that legacy is demonstrated through how well those players come off the bench.
I don't think you can truly have legacy though without love and buy-in from your people. And like the story I just told, I didn't have love with the people that I had. I didn't have strong relationships to where they actually missed me when I left. One of the biggest impacts you've made for me is being comfortable telling other people, especially like other guys on your crew, that you love them, and how it's not less manly to say that you love them because you appreciate what they bring to the service and who they are as a person. I probably can't say it as good as you do, but I would just want to throw that ball in your court. Can you talk about just love in the fire service, loving your people?
Wow, man, why not? Why do we make it difficult? Have you got stress in your life outside of the fire department? Is there
Yes.
a person listening to this talk today that don't have stress in their life outside of the fire department? Why in the world would we want to create a stressful environment for a third of our life? I want to do this the opposite. I want it to be a stress. I want the fire department to become, you can come here and you can decompress a little bit from everything that you got happening outside in life. Um, but man, you know, we hug in Cherokee County. We literally, everybody does it. We've got that half a dozen or so people that are kind of like not really into it. And one that comes to mind for me right now, Lieutenant Smith. He's just not a hugger. He and Jason Laminate, Captain Laminate. He's another not a hugger. I've known these guys for years, and I hug them every time. And they let it happen, but they kind of put a shoulder into it. They're not. but it's always kind of an arm in front, a couple big grumpy smacks on the back. But male, female, whatever it is, we show each other that we love each other, and we tell each other that I love you, brother, love you. I mean, what you need anything, be sincere, be genuine. Don't just say it to be saying it, because man, I do. I love my brothers and sisters in the fire service, regardless of what their rank is, their position is. There's nothing I'd rather do than get out of this office and spend time on the fire ground, on the training ground. We had a stair climb Saturday, a memorial stair climb to honor our brothers that was murdered by them cowards back in September 11th, '01. And man, there we took Engine 9, Squad 9, our medical control officer, Engine 19, and Engine 7. All went down to the Atlanta Braves Stadium. I went down with them. Of course, I did not climb every step that they climbed. Took my 9-year-old granddaughter. She climbed every step, and I was busting some of the shots that they got smoked by a 9-year-old little girl. But man, just to be able to have that, spend that time together and time away from the fire department, man, that's so important. Rick Lasky talks about that, and I've heard others mention Corley Moore's one that talks about, get outside and enjoy time at cookouts, and go have a beer and just enjoy your brothers and sisters, and they'll always be there for you. I told you about Chris King's passing. Man, the second we learned that Chris King had cancer, we started lavishing that family with love. Through our foundation, we provided them some financial support, but more importantly, Chris rarely spent a night at the hospital, and he spent a lot of them that there wasn't somebody there. We had a parade that that was actually for David Gray, who passed just over a year ago from our neighboring fire department. We had a big apparatus parade through the parking lot at the hospital for him. Probably had 50 or 75 apparatus come through with police and ambulances and everything else. It's just showing your brothers you love them when the chips are down, and being there for them. Chris King's wife, Shannon, will never have to worry about her grass being mowed. She will never have anything that she needs that won't be provided for her. And I'll tell you another one if I can, because this one, it touches me. Justin Hicks and Amber Hicks. I don't know if you've heard their story or not, but almost 4 years ago, they were brutally murdered in their home. And their son, Jacob, was a year old at the time. Guys smashed their basement window in because they turned their Christmas lights on, and he thought it was some kind of satanic symbol, and came upstairs where they were sitting on the couch and shot both of them to death before they could ever get off the couch. The next day, little Jacob was sitting on his daddy's lap when his daddy found him because he didn't go to work. But at our training center, this a way that we wanted to keep that family alive is we named all of our streets. Like the big circle that goes around the outside is Hicks Circle. We got a Justin Way and an Amber Court, and the buildings have the burn building has Jacob's birth date on it. So now when we do training scenarios, we'll dispatch to 904 Justin Walk, which is the one A side of our burn building, when we do training scenarios, instead of the old 123 anywhere street. Man, I know I'm rambling on here. I'm sorry, but this is what brotherhood is. This is what legacy is. This is what love looks like. Jacob's birthday was a few days ago. Jacob got presents. They formed Jacob's Pathway Foundation, and about 2/3 of our fire department, I think, throws $5 a payday into this foundation for him. And that money adds up. And with 500 members, he'll never need anything. So his first day of school, there are firefighters there. Every birthday, every milestone that this kid touches, and it ain't one or two firefighters normally. they do a big muster every year of event, and it's a lot of fun, and it's all through the Pathway Foundation for Jacob and honoring Justin and Amber. Um, you know, Justin proposed to Amber on top of a truck 21, and it's just we got to keep them alive, man. It's a brother. Chris King, he'll always be alive. David Gray, he'll always be alive. And it's three things like I'm describing in Cherokee County that we do. And it ain't me. It's not me doing these things. It's the firefighters. It's the brotherhood in this organization that are doing those things. It's up to us to create that, man. It can't be created by a fire chief. It has to be supported by administrative, but it's so easy to create that kind of thing in your organization. You just got to push hard for it.
Yeah, don't ever apologize for rambling, by the way. This is your episode. This can go any way we want. But I'll tell you one thing. You might have felt like you were rambling, but just from me personally, I was already spinning my brain thinking about ways I can do something like that in our organization. So the listeners, while you're talking about the things that Cherokee's doing, they're probably going to try to bring something back to the organization just by hearing you tell that story. So once again, you're continuing to make impacts in the fire service, and hopefully if somebody does resonate with that, reach out to Chief, let him know what you're thinking, and maybe he can help you along, because I know that he's always got his phone ready for anybody that needs him. So absolutely. Brotherhood. We hear it a lot on the podcast. We hear it at conferences. Some some have more brotherhood when they get outside the walls of their organization versus inside the organization. That may not be the same for you. It doesn't seem like. But instead of complaining about the difference in brotherhood outside versus inside, how can we build that inside our organization? You already hinted at it a little bit, but maybe some small steps somebody can take to build brotherhood.
Man, brotherhood starts in the firehouse. It don't start in the chief's office or at headquarters or anywhere else. And it really, the company officer, he has to insist on it. Candace Ashby, I love that lady to death, man. She was talking, and she's quick to say, "Oh hell, not at my house, Scooter. We ain't doing it that way. All right, we are not going to bash your brother. If you got a problem, let's get it worked out. And if the two of y'all can't work it out simply by pulling your heads together and getting to the other side of it, then if I have to, I will step in and help you work that out." That's the company officer's responsibility. But it starts really before the company officer. You know, you can work at a horrible fire department that has really no culture, no support from the top. It's huge, and nobody knows anybody outside of, captain, lieutenant, sergeant, or whatever. But it don't have to be that way at your house, at your firehouse. So on your shift. So start the brotherhood there, and then it'll grow. Right? Start the friendly competition. We're implementing some company standard drills, and those drills, I assure you, are gonna become very competitive between companies. Um, that's bantering. That's an opportunity. We do a physical performance standards test every year, and these guys, they've made it a competition. It's not graded by age or anything, but we absolutely, the more mature people, the elder in the fire department, they're always bantering, trying to beat the younger guys, or trying to beat the guy the same in age. And, you know, sometimes a gender will try to beat the other gender, whatever it may be. But it's just good, healthy competition, fun. You know, got to use some caution with the practical jokes. I understand that, but let them happen. Company pride's another thing. It's huge. We never, under the previous fire chief, he would not allow us to have anything on our uniform that was not 100% consistent with everything else everybody else did. And that's one of the first things I did, is let them kind of come up with their own company pride, the concrete conquistadors and the Canton Kings, and different Keithsburg Cowboys, and who has the coolest looking belt buckle now. They're starting to have their company belt buckles, and yeah, back of the shirt says Cherokee Fire and Emergency Services. Everybody's does. I'm sorry, the front of the shirt says that, but the back of the T-shirts have their company pride. They put them on the sides of their fire trucks, put them on the walls of their buildings, and that kind of stuff. And it's cool to see when somebody has to go to another station to cover that somebody steals their company logo and takes it back to their firehouse, and then they have to get it and that kind of thing. So brotherhood is up to us. We determine if we want a strong brotherhood, and of course that's not gender specific. Uh, but it is really up to, and you touched on it earlier, man. Brotherhood is really about love. That's what it really comes to at the end of the day. Do you love what you do? Do you love the people you do it with? Why would you not want to breed to create a bond that I can talk about another member of Cherokee County Fire Department in my organization. But by God, you better not say a damn thing ugly about them because you're gonna have to deal with it. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna. That's what brotherhood is. Stand up for your brothers and that kind of thing.
I tell you one thing I suffered from, Chief, when it came to love and brotherhood and passion for the job is, unfortunately, I would let some of the select few steal my love and passion for the job, and I became burned out, and I would focus more of my time and energy on the people that didn't care as much as I did, and it affected me outwardly, and then my reputation got hurt because of it. For the people that, because it's in every organization, for the people that have what we can call them mutts here, we'll call them mutts. People that have mutts in their organization that are trying to steal their love and passion for the job and for each other. What do you do with that?
Don't allow it to happen, man. Look, you cannot necessarily change anybody. All right. But again, if you're that company officer and you got that mutt, look, he don't have to put out the amount of energy and passion and what have you that you do, but he has to participate. She has to participate. So if you're going to get out and stretch, then he's going to get out of the recliner and he's going to come out and stretch. If you're going to do PT, he don't have to do the same PT that you and the rest of the people in your company are doing. He don't have to compete to try to do the most up downs or the most push ups or whatever it may be, or the, you know, dragging the mannequin or crawling through the tube was the best time. But by God, he's got to do it. He's got to be there. He's got to participate. You can force that to happen more times than not. If you really, really try to motivate that in the right way, you might see that guy start to come around a little bit. Uh, Man, how awesome would that be? So I know it's difficult, but you gotta do your best. And then honestly, if you can't, then you got to document it, and he's got to go. Again, he can't be one of us, man. He can't be part of our family. He can't share what we got if he don't have the passion and the love for it. All right. If you are a mutt and truly a mutt, that you elect that, you choose that. All right. And by God, if you want to choose that, that's okay. You can choose it. We don't want you to. Here's every opportunity, man. The doors are wide open. Come on in, brother. We love you. We want you in here. We want you to be one of us. Be part of what we've got, but don't damn tear it down. Uh, don't. No, hell no. You got to
Mhm.
go if we can't get you on board. That's the end of the bottom line. It's the end of the day.
Yeah, I think accountability, right? Holding, especially as a company officer, holding your crew accountable to the expectations that the community has of you and what you have of the crew. And if they are not meeting the standard that you set in your firehouse and amongst each other, you're right that then something actually an action step has to be taken there. And I think a lot of people maybe struggle with that step. I mean, do you guys preach to your company officers on holding people accountable?
Yes, we preach it and we fall short a lot of the time. It's because we live a third of our life with these guys, man, and we've known them for years. We've watched their kids be born. We want to protect them, and I encourage that. All right, absolutely, do everything you can possibly do to help a brother out when a brother needs help. But you can't. There was a time when if a person would show up at work with alcohol on their breath, we'd put them in the bunk room. You can't do that anymore. Those days are gone. And it wasn't right to do it then. All right. If a person is having those kind of struggles, you need to carry that person to the far back of the building, all the way to the damn property line beyond, if you can get them away far enough. And you need to say, look, dude, I know you got something going on. You showing up with alcohol in your breath. You got a choice. Your choice is to come forward with that, and we'll help you. But if you don't want to come forward with it, then I've got to do what I got to do, and got to take those appropriate actions. But try to give that guy that chance, man. Give him that opportunity if you can. You may be your little simple gesture, it might be the difference in saving that person's life. All right, mental health, the challenges that we have in the fire service, they're real. And how much of that is really associated with stress from calls? I'm not a physician, I'm not a psychologist, but I do think that the stress from responding to tragedy absolutely has an impact on a firefighter's overall mental health. But I think there's a lot of other contributing factors. It's the fact that we come on the job, we're full of piss and vinegar, we get ourselves in debt right away. Man, I preach to our recruits all the time. Do not go buy a new vehicle. Don't buy the boat. All right. Save a little money. When you can make a 20% down payment on that new $100,000 truck, then go buy that truck. But it ain't got to be new. Buy a used boat to start with. Something you can pay for, do a little work on. Hell, we got boat mechanics all over the fire service. But ease into those kind of things so that that stress doesn't become so cumulative. Then there's marriage and there's children and there's stress from school and stress from trying to achieve that next rank and all those different stressors in life and in the organization. And then you got the stress from the mutts and all that kind of stuff. You gotta fight against that. Reduce that stress to as much as you can.
Well, Chief, when it comes to finances, you must have been talking to my wife because that's exactly what she sounds like. No, but to address the mud situation, I think you've mentioned extreme ownership. When you were on the scrap, you said extreme ownership was one of your favorite books. And when it comes to, I think as a company officer, right, and you're dealing with people that may not be meeting a standard, yes, you have to do every single thing you possibly can to bring that person along with you. If it's going to take extra effort from you and your crew, that person deserves that chance. But I think what extreme ownership says is when it gets to the point where you've done everything you possibly can to help that individual and they will not help themselves, they are now taking time away from you as a company officer from pouring into the rest of the crew. They may be now a liability for that crew and for you on a call. And so that's where now we're dancing on the line of like, hey, we don't want to take meals off your table, man, but we've done everything we possibly can here. And then extreme ownership states that you can feel now 100% confident that you've done what you can. And now it's time to start documenting and processing that person out if it gets to that point. But, I think that's a key factor in dealing with those mutts like you're talking about.
You're absolutely correct. And it's a hard thing again for us to do, man, because we love each other. We love our profession. But there are those people that you can't help. But give them all you got. Anytime one of my deputies bring an adverse administrative action to my attention, the very first thing I do is say, just tell me we've done everything that we can do to help this guy. Everything we're supposed to do to help this guy. If we've done everything that we've utilized all of our resources, we've invested time, we've had maybe give them an opportunity to move them to another shift, another station, whatever the different things may be, and they're just not going to get on board. I'm sorry, they got to go. They got to go find somewhere else to do. They can go be a roofer or do whatever, man. There's plenty of opportunities out there for people to make a living. I want them to be here and make a living because then they can have that roofing job as a side hustle and do really well, whatever it may be. But if you can't be one of us, you can't you can't be a mutt and be a Cherokee County firefighter. You can't be part of our family. You can't have what we got.
Mm.
Sorry.
I love that though, because you're protecting the culture, and I think Scott Thompson talks about that, right? Like the culture is what you make it. The culture, I mean, you can either accept the culture as what it is, or you build that culture and you protect the culture of what you want that to look like.
Yeah. Man, Scott Thompson walks in the room. I want to crawl under a fire truck and ball up in the fetal position, start sucking my thumb, man. It's people like him that have been there for me. I've called him on the phone, shot him a text here and there and yonder when I got something going on, and others like him, and they're always ready to come back, man. This rock stars, but he's exactly right. You got to protect what you built. It's if you don't, you won't have it. Won't
Yeah,
exist.
he's also one of my favorite. I mean, he's got the nickname America's Fire Chief for a reason because what he pours into people.
Absolutely.
I want to talk to you. I want to loop back. You were talking about competitiveness with fire crews and different stations coming together, and you mentioned the word also that not a lot of fire chiefs use, and the word was aggressive. Um, how important is that style of training, the drills, the competitiveness, with building an aggressive fire culture in the fire service?
Hey, man, it's in our mission statement. It's in our vision statement. I want Cherokee County firefighters to approach everything they do in an aggressive manner. Default to an aggressive attack. It's in my leadership philosophy. It's all about um it's just giving the absolute everything you got to make a situation better. And if you don't train that way, you won't fight that way. That's for sure. Last night, I was telling you, we had a worker in a basement fire in a big old 4,800 square foot house, and it started. First arriving company sized it up and verified it was in the basement. Within 3 or 4 minutes, the incident commander assigned another company to search above the fire. And man, oh my goodness, that's a big deal, especially with modern furnishings and lightweight constructions and lightweight construction, that kind of thing. Sure enough, man, that crew got in there and they called for priority traffic and said, "We've got a mushy floor. We're backing out." And they backed out of that particular area because they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. They didn't back all the way out of the house, but they got away from that hazard. Uh, but then he announced there was a hole in the floor, and the radio traffic was a little bit garbled. And I'm like, "Holy shit! Did he say somebody went through the floor?" Well, I'm not really. It scares me if a person goes through the floor of a lightweight constructed house, but knowing that we had those basement crews interior already, they'd already announced they'd got to the seat of the fire. We've got an on deck crew for rapid intervention standing by right there. It didn't scare me like it would have scared me years ago. I want them to be aggressive. Take the water to the fire. Yeah, put a little on it from the outside, whatever the science supports. I'm all about that. I'm not one of them guys that says you gotta, battle your way through not anymore. I used to believe that, but the science has proven to us. But I want Todd Edwards says it best. Get a line on the ground and go get your victims.
Hmm.
That's the bottom line. And it ain't clear till we say it's clear. Even though in this particular situation, dispatch reports everybody's out, families in the front yard, everybody's out and accounted for. But we're not going to accept that ever. We're always going to be aggressively searching. That's going to be part of our company standards that we're implementing. Is one of them is from the time the air brake comes on until the line's at the front door, and then the victim's located, and then until victim's removed, and then what are you doing with the victim after you remove them? Even we had a whole training scenario as to what in your training scenarios that you've been to, any time that you've ever done search drills in live fire, you drag a mannequin out, and what do you do with it? You
Drop it
throw
on the
it on the
ground.
ground. Throw him on the ground. Some big burly truckie or somebody grabs him and runs him back in there and resets for the next evolution, right? That particular training evolution, we replaced that mannequin with a person and went through the whole cyno kit, putting the Lucas on, the whole into the ambulance and off to the hospital piece of it. Uh, we did the CPR for firefighters and the whole gauntlet with that. But just really good training opportunities there. But man, yeah, go get it every time. And I don't care if it's an EMS call, if it's a damn duck in a drain at the local pond, whatever it might be. Be aggressive. Hell, you're trained. You know what to do. We trust you. If you make a mistake, oh well, what the hell? You didn't do it on purpose. I had an old sergeant major in the army told me, and I think you may have heard me say that just before. If you ain't red lighting, you ain't racing. You know, if you're trying to win a drag race, every once in a while you're going to jump that light on that tree. That's a mistake. All right, that ain't the end of the world. We can overcome that. So go get it. Do your best every time.
When I heard you tell that red light reference, it made me smile a little bit because we have a place called the Bandimere Speedway out here in Colorado. It's in Morrison near Red Rocks, and I grew up watching those funny cars, man, with the parachutes that pop out of the back, just watching those and feeling the seats rumble. And I always used to watch that tree, and I would see a guy jump here and there, and I'm like, oh man, what's wrong with those guys? Those guys suck. But no, yeah, you're absolutely right. You got to do what you got to do to get out of here, get out ahead.
See, I love seeing them cars, man. You know, they're
Yeah, yeah.
fighting to get off that line first. You know, that's how they win the race. A lot of times, in milliseconds is what gets them. It's what determines sometimes whether people live or die in our profession.
Yeah, I tell you, one recent conversation I've had with a battalion chief was, and I was kind of challenging authority a little bit when you talked about when dispatch and the family in the front yard says everyone's out, and but saying that doesn't matter. We're going to go in and we're going to do our job because that's what's required of us. Me riding backwards, the feeling that I feel when I hear that over the radio, especially from my BC that may be on scene already, saying, "Hey, everyone's out of the house already," that takes me from fifth gear to second gear. And then if you assign me to primary search, I'm not going to be very thorough or hyper vigilant with my search technique because I've already been told everyone's out. So now psychologically, I'm just going through the motions. So I told my chief, I said, "Hey, I don't think we should say that over the radio." And I tried to back up some of the data of firefighter rescue survey about how victims are still in the house, sometimes 3%, not a ton, but some victims still being in the house. And it was a good conversation, but it was terrifying to go up to my chief and say, psychologically, that really took me out of the game when you say that over the radio. And I think it's extremely important to have those conversations as a firefighter to your chief if you have that relationship.
And that you hit the nail right on the head, that relationship. That's your culture, brother. That's where you got to build it at. And you know what? If you go to that chief and you challenge him, you're going to lose. All right. Because that's our personalities. We don't want to be called out in front of anybody or anything of that nature. But to go and have a conversation like that with the two of y'all, I encourage it. I was just, when you started there, I knew where you were going, and I wanted to pull something up, and I, for my leadership philosophy that I share with everybody, one of my bullets here, it says, "I'm going to ask a lot of you, but if I'm unclear, if I make a mistake, or if I fail to follow through, please tell me." And I mean that. I want to know. So this is something that you believed in, right? And for you to come and tell me that, I need to take time and I need to give you that gift, make that investment, and sit and listen to you. And I need to listen intently with my eyes because I need to see how you feel about it. I need to hear your voice. I don't email or text message or whatever. I need to understand your passion, and then I need to respond to it the way that I feel what to be true. Preston, dude, you're wrong. All right. Look at it this way. Think about it this way. Or, holy shit, man, you know what? I've never really thought about that. Let me put some thought into that. I'm gonna get back to you. Or, you know what, man, you're absolutely right. I'm a jackass. Thank you for pointing that out to me. Thank you for calling me out. But you got to build that, and you're gonna have those officers and chief officers that they're not gonna want to ever, and you know who they are. And if you know you're not gonna win, uh, don't put yourself in that position if it's gonna hurt you in the long run. because putting your passion forward, you're going to get there. You're going to be, as you continue to continue your career and grow older, you're going to find yourself in those leadership positions. It may be a formal leadership position, or this may be the fact that you have that ability to influence the other people around you. And that's all leadership is anyways, influence, and influence them in a proper or positive manner is what's most important. So tell them, just do it the right way.
The right way, absolutely.
Right
I
way.
think that leads me into the next topic I wanted to go over, and that was the generational differences in the fire service.
Woohoo!
I almost think that some people use it as a cop out. If for the older guys, right? We're starting to see Gen Zs come in and speak a totally different language in the firehouse. We got young guys. I have no idea what they're talking about half the time. But I'm in the middle of the pack, right? As a millennial, we
Yep.
still have some Gen Xers in the ranks, and I think one of the biggest cop out statements is, this generation is a bunch of sissies. They can't do what we used to do, or they always need an excuse, or they're lazy, or something like that. But I think the generations before us created the generation that's coming up through the ranks. So, can you talk a little bit about, for you specifically, what you've seen specifically with the generations that come through, and like how you handle each one specifically?
Well, I'm on the tail end of the baby boomers. So it was totally different from me. And I've said it before, and I probably even to you, that if I was told to do it, I just did it. And I didn't question why. I knew if I wasn't doing it the way I was supposed to be doing it, somebody was going to correct me. If I was doing it well, then somebody would tell me I did a good job. And that's all that mattered. But that's not the situation anymore. And Alan Brunacini, rest his soul, he made a statement sitting on the bumper of his old Mack fire truck one time. I was listening to one of the thousands of interviews, and he was talking about that same thing. These kids coming in the fire service today, they can't even start a chainsaw. They've never done this. It ain't their fault. He said, how about if we teach them? What if that catches on? And man, that make bing, you know, I'm gonna figure this thing out, and I'm gonna write a book, and I'm gonna make $1 billion off of that book. $1 billion, not a million, $1 billion. Um, Probably not ever gonna come to fruition. But there's nothing wrong with explaining the why. Um, we are fixing to do something with our next recruit class that we've never done, and we're going to have the Woodstock Fire Department, which is a city fire department that currently has 2 stations. They're fixing to build 2 more, and they're going to staff those 2 stations with these recruits. They're going to join our recruit class, so we're going to have a combination recruit class with almost an equal number of students, but 2 different fire departments. But they're going to be recruit class 2025-02, period, the end. On the front of their red T-shirt that says recruit on the back will have the Woodstock logo, and on ours it'll have the Cherokee logo. That's the difference in the class. But this morning I met with their chief officers and my chief staff and instructors, and we had a lot of conversation. And this was a big part of it is it's not the same recruit. We're not getting the same recruit that I trained 15 or 18 years ago, but it's not their fault. I grew up in a household in the country. I had chores. I was required to do my chores. If I didn't do my chores and do them to an acceptable standard, I'd get my butt kicked, physically get my butt kicked. Not much of that goes on anymore. There are a lot of single family households now. A lot of people grew up in apartments. A lot of them never played on a sports team or served in the military or had chores that they had to do. Their family situations never required them to learn the things that I had to learn that transitioned me into the fire service. It ain't their fault. All right. So what if they can't wash dishes or clean a toilet? We teach that in recruit school now because we know that has to be taught, and you got to make them understand that reason. This generation today if you can influence their why, if you can make them understand the importance, what it means to your mission, what it means to your organizational success, what it means to their success, then they become a lot more teachable. And that stress inoculation piece is another big thing. For me, the first live fire training I ever went to, we used diesel fuel in pressurized water cans, and there was no couch cushion or something laying around. It was added to the fire load in an acquired structure. Now we're burning wooden pallets and using propane to start them with, which is what you should be doing. And granted, you want to build them up to, the huge fire set where you're pulling it through the building and making it uber hot, but don't put them in that environment to begin with, because they're going to go into survival mode. Build that stress slowly as you increase your training evolutions. A lot of people are studying these things. A lot of people are a lot smarter than me, and I believe in what they're showing. The information is out there. Trying to think of the chief, and Brian Brush, thank you, is a genius when it comes to this kind of thing. But really influencing the why. Why is it important that we clean our toilets and we wash our uniforms at the firehouse, and make them understand, man, we go into houses that are nasty. You don't want to take that stuff home and expose it to your family. You don't want to track it into your car, and then your kid get in the car, your wife get in the car, and be exposed to the crap that's on the bottom of your dirty work boots. Leave that crap at the fire station. Wash it at the fire station. Make them understand the why behind everything we do. And also sell them on some of the tradition, how it used to be. And don't try to sell it to them that y'all got it so easy today. Y'all got all this great equipment, 2 sets of gear, all these breathing apparatus, and on and on and on. It's still hard, dirty work, just like it was for everybody that came before them. But make them understand the tradition behind the brotherhood, behind the fire service. It's that process of influencing. It's what leadership is really all about.
No, that's beautiful, Chief. I think putting the onus back on leadership to explain the why, and understanding that it's okay that if they come to you and they don't know how to start a chainsaw and they were born with a smartphone in their hand, like it's not their fault. It's something that we need to take ownership of as leaders of an organization.
Yeah. You just wait till you put drones in service in your organization and watch what these geniuses bring to you with that technology and a lot of other technology. Man, we got so much technology in our organization that I don't understand. I have a difficult time with the freaking MDTs in our fire trucks. These guys, it's part of their language. It's who they are. Click, click, done. I tell people all the time, you want an IT guy to come to your office with a quickness, you call them on the phone and tell them that you're fixing to oil your computer, and they will come running. I
Oh,
guarantee. I
is
IT
that
guys,
based on a true story?
I tell them all the time, man. That's how I get them here. Tell them I'm like, damn it, I'm fixing to oil this freaking thing, and man, they'll be beating on my door in a minute and a half.
Well, I will tell you, Chief, and that you are not just saying this because it's something you read in a book. It's something that you put into action, because the first time I met you in Pensacola, you brought a few Cherokee guys with you, and there's a couple young guys. I can't remember their names, but man, we were at the Hilton Bar on one of the nights, and I could tell those boys would lay down in traffic for you. They had so much love for you because of the time you put into them. And so everything that we've talked about when it comes to legacy, brotherhood, the generation, and all this stuff, like, it's not fluff. It's just something that you put into action every single day.
Man, I appreciate you saying it. I love these guys, man, and they love me, and I know they love me, and that's remarkable. You know, Yeah, I'm gonna be gone one day. The doors are gonna go up. They're not gonna miss one single beat. But I will always know, and I say this humbly, but I'll always know that I made my contribution. I put in the work. I did the things I was supposed to do. I did them for the right reason, and I left it better than I found it. And that's so important to me when I walk out of here.
Well, Chief, I hope so. We in my department we got 3 brand new chiefs, from fire chief, deputy chief, and ops chief. 3 brand new chiefs in the past year, and they bring a lot of ambition. They bring youth and ambition. I mean, they're all internal hires. They all came from the line, and I hope they get a chance to listen to our conversation today, and just to see what it's like for a different perspective from a fire chief outside of the walls of the organization. They're already doing great things, but you know, I wish I could bring you over here just to teach. Maybe that could happen in the near future. I don't know.
I'd love to come out, man, and I'll extend a invitation to anybody at any rank that wants to come and spend some days at Cherokee County. We got bunk space, man. Come on, move in with us. We can load you up with shift commanders, battalion chiefs. You can spend time at headquarters. You can just spend time with a company officer at the company level and ride out and truly experience what we've got here in Cherokee County. See our problems along with the things that we've done that are awesome. That's what it's all about, man. I'm planning on going up and riding with a guy. Man, the guy mentioned Jason Laminack. That's kind of on their bucket list. A guy that worked a couple of years in Cherokee County that became an FDNY firefighter, and he's a lieutenant up there now. And he's invited us to come up, and we're gonna make that happen. I love going and riding at other fire departments and buffing fires and seeing the way other people do it, man. Why reinvent it? So sincere. I extend that invitation to you, your chiefs, your officers, anybody that ever wants to make a trip out to Cherokee County. Come on, man. We'd love to have you for a few days.
Well, I've already tried to convince the wife and making it a permanent visit, honestly, to come out there and bring Lily with us.
Heck yeah, man. With my little batch of freaking grandbabies.
One thing I want to talk to you about that I hope carries over into other departments if they're not doing it is, are you still going around and doing breakfast or cooking for the guys every now and then?
Man, I would rather do nothing but go to a firehouse and cook breakfast. Yes, we do that. Sometimes we do it as a reward for something. We put it's I don't know how long it's been. It's been a little while now. But for best turnout times, we're having lunch with that crew that has that best turnout time for the month. We're gonna have to adjust that a little bit though, because the guys up at like our station 18 that they run 10 calls a month, and then you got the crews at Station 1 that are running 15, 18 a day. So we got to kind of weigh that out and get some apples to apples in that competition. But a lot of times with the breakfast, we do an information session every month, and we take breakfast to that information session, and we do it at a firehouse, and we've got an anonymous email, but rarely are the emails anonymous anymore. People tell us who they are because we begin to build that trust. But we do that to get out and spend time. But it is my absolute one of my all-time favorite things to do is to go the night before, buy the groceries, put them in a cooler, show up at the firehouse 6 or so in the morning, get everything cooking. Shift change rolls around at 7:30. Have a nice country, sausage and gravy and biscuits, and we do eggs and bacon, and I mean it's nothing healthy about it at all. But just put out a full spread, and everybody comes through, and we try to clean the dishes up off the plate, off the table, but we wash every dish. We wash every pot, every pan, and always somebody's coming to the sink trying to nudge me out of the sink. And we have a good time with it a lot of times, to the point of, look, dude, I'm gonna whip your ass if you don't, man, let me do this. All right, I don't get this opportunity very much. Let me enjoy myself here. This is for me. Let me wash these dishes. But just to serve them, man, it goes so far. Um, you know, why don't chiefs go to training and actually participate in training? If we're doing live fire training and we require every member of our fire department to do it, why does the fire chief not go and participate in that training? I don't even have to participate at the same level they're participating at. Just to show up on the training grounds and put my bunker pants on and throw my helmet on. I don't ever have to get my coat out of the truck if I don't want to. Go to a live fire evolution and throw pallets. I told that group that I was talking to this morning, I said, I just want one thing out of this upcoming recruit class. I want to teach one of the settees on the first day that we do live fire. Love teaching settees. I always have for years and years and years. And they enjoy seeing chief officers in the burn bill. I go down sometimes and throw pallets. And when I say throw pallets, them guys that are loading pallets in that burn building work their rear ends off all day long. I might throw 3 or 4 freaking pallets all day and sit out there beside the burn building with the pallet loaders and drink water and BS for a couple of 2 or 3 hours and then go back on about my way doing the things that I got to do. But just take a little bit of time and go out there and be with your people. See what they're experiencing, see what they're up against. If Engine 1 is going through the shop once a week, I need to know why Engine 1 is going through the shop once a week. If we can't get somebody else to solve that problem, I need to solve that problem. Nobody likes freaking swapping out of trucks. I used to swap out of trucks. All right. I didn't like it when I had to do it. Nobody likes to do it. So why do it?
Yeah, Chief, I think that's extremely important because a lot of times on the line, if we don't see our chiefs or command staff, we kind of feel like we're just a number in the organization.
Absolutely.
And then when you show up, no one wants you actually to get elbow deep in the dirt and the mud, just like the rest of us. But the fact that you're there and you see us, I mean, I don't know if that's a new generational thing, right? Like we just want like, hey, daddy, look at me, like over here doing on the swing on the playground. But it's a real thing.
You know something, dude? You got a right to be inspected. Now, hear me out just for a minute. If I have an expectation, I should give you an opportunity to demonstrate to me that you have done it, exceeded what I asked you to do. I need to give you a chance to show that. All right. I can't do that sitting in this freaking office chair. I got to be out there to do that. Now, does that mean I'm going to fire stations and conducting inspections? No, it does not. I need to be out there and be present, just like you said. We all do. All leadership needs to be in field operations and be present, be seen. Give them a chance. I tell people all the time, if that red buggy pulls up behind the fire station, put some coffee on. You got nothing to worry about if I come to your firehouse. Absolutely nothing to worry about because I am there to enjoy myself, to have a good time, to spend some time with you. If that black Tahoe pulls up behind your fire station, you might have something to be concerned about because that's their Office of Professional Standards. I hope they never pull up behind your firehouse. But if it's the red Tahoe, get the coffee out, man. Let's bullshit. Hell, pull the truck out. We'll drag some hose if you want to. Won't be able to do it as good as you can, but by God, I'll still do it. That's what you want to do.
Chief, I think there's something special in what you're saying there, though, about having the right to be inspected, to be able to show off your skills into the fire chief, and maybe get a pat on the back. And if you don't have a great day, for the chief to be like, "Hey, man, just keep working on it. It's all good, right?" Just having a chief there or a superior officer or somebody there just to see you putting in work, I think is important because there is a conversation that happens on the line that says, why would I give more than the minimum standard if the guy that's doing the minimum standards is getting the same benefits as me?
That's right.
But when Chief shows up and he sees you in that work and seeing you putting in that work, man, I mean, you don't need a piece of paper with a gold star on it. You just need to see the chief out there showing you grinding.
That's it.
That's a great message.
Terminated from Cherokee County Fire Department, it will probably be because of the food line in my budget. I bust the crap out of it every year. Bagels and biscuits and breakfasts and lunches. We do a lot of it. And man, there's so much to be accomplished at that kitchen table. Just in conversation, just being present. Like I said, it's so important. Everything you just said, give them guys an opportunity, man. And let them know you're there. You're present. You love them. You're part of it. It's family. It's us. It's not, it, look, when I talk to other fire chiefs, I talk about my fire department. But when I talk about us together, it's our fire department. It's we. But yeah, I'm quick to stand up and boast and brag when I have an opportunity and puff my chest out and peacock around a little bit. You damn right I do. That's because of the work that the people are doing, though. It ain't because of the work that I'm doing. Any accolade or recognition I ever get, I'm very grateful for it, but it ain't because of the work that I put out. It's simply because I open the door and give people an opportunity to perform, to give them a chance. Just let them work. Let them be firefighters. Let them off the chain, man. I actually said to my budget manager the other day, and I love her to death. She's excellent. Talk about aggressive. She's aggressive as crap in her field. I said, when I need to negotiate a contract, I'm not going to go try and negotiate that contract. I said, I'm going to let this little pit bull off the chain. She's a gorgeous lady. And she's like, you just called me a pit bull. I said, yeah, but you got on a pink, beautiful pink collar. Man, love on
Yeah.
you people. It's
Yeah.
important.
I love it, Chief. And I honestly think because of the way you are conducting yourself as the fire chief at Cherokee, it's actually inspiring others to maybe think about stepping into that role. A lot of people on the line don't want to go into admin and be the fire chief because they don't want to separate themselves from the crew. But it seems like you're still pouring yourself into the crew and you're trying to get over there as much as you possibly can, even though you get pulled away from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it's 53 years old. You'll be looking for something else to do. I guarantee you that.
Well, as we close things out, Chief, I like to give the guests an opportunity to if anything we left out, or if you want to give a closing statement to the listeners, if they take anything away from this episode, what would that message be?
You know what, man? If you don't like the way it is right now, make it different. Rebrand. We did when I took over as fire chief a few years ago. We made a conscientious choice that we were going to rebrand the Cherokee County Fire Department because morale was kind of low. We were not in a great place, and when I did that, I pulled some people that I trusted that I've known for a period of time from field operations and other places, and I said, what do we need to do? And how can we truly redefine Cherokee County Fire Department? And I said, these are my only parameters, is that whenever we create a mission statement, that we use the word aggressive and it has life, saving life, and property in that mission statement, and that we have a simple set of core values that we can all understand and get behind. We had 7 core values. People couldn't even recite them. Now we got 3: courage, commitment, integrity. Very simple. If you can't align yourself behind them 3, you can't be one of us. And have vision. And when I say vision, you can Google it. You can Google vision statements and they give you all these processes of how to develop it. I think all that's a bunch of crap. If I'm going to manufacture a product and it's going to have an effect on a person, and it's going to bring me profit, well, I don't need to. My vision don't need to be how I can make the most profit. My vision needs to be how can this medication have the most impact on this person? How can it make their life better? And that's what I want. Vision for Cherokee County Fire Department is I envision the perfect fire department. And what is the perfect fire department? Well, it's the one with the great culture that's saving lives, that's being aggressive, that's doing the job, taking care of the taxpayers' money the whole time we're doing it. But trigger that vision, and that vision's a big part of that brand, and share that vision. Because if it's just your vision, ain't nobody gonna get behind it. It's got to be a shared vision. So get people on board to help you develop it. You as the fire chief got to put your parameters down, or whoever is leading at whatever level we're talking about. You may be doing this just at your house. You may be rebranding your station, whatever it is. You do have parameters. Mine were simple, and that was the aggressive life and property, and the simple core values, and then the vision. And the vision focuses on the outcome, not on the profit necessarily, but how it impacts people. I love the fact that we were able to accomplish a rebrand. I got a guy now. He recently was promoted to chief. He actually started as one of our explorers years and years ago. I love the man to death. He is on my case constantly when I put something on Facebook or whatever that drifts outside of the brand. If we want to put logos on the side of a truck or whatever it is, he's the brand guy. He's to make sure that it truly falls within the message that we're trying to send to our community. So that's about it, man. I love you, dude. I appreciate an opportunity. Really had a good time. We talked for days.
Yeah, absolutely. And this isn't going to be the last time we have a conversation. So hopefully, we'll get a second episode down on the podcast, and then we get to get the girls together and hang out and sit
Yeah,
down by the pool again very
yeah.
soon.
Carrot juice, man. Smoke on a nice stogie or something.
Yeah, I remember you told me that the first time. I was like, carrot juice. And you're like, yeah, I got a cooler full of carrot juice and some cigars.
Man, I love my carrot juice and cigar.
Oh, yeah. All right, Chief. Well, I appreciate your time. And for all the listeners, one more thing, Chief. If people want to reach out to you and get a hold of you, how can they do so?
Hey, man, call me, text me, 614-1519, 78614-1519. I'm old, man. I freaking hate text messages. I hate emails. But if I don't answer my phone, and I try to always answer my phone, even them freaking spam calls, shoot me a text, and I promise you I'll call you back just as quick as I can get back to you. Love talking to people, man. Love the fire service. Love talking about the fire service. So by all means, reach out.
Beautiful, Chief. Well, I'm honored once again to have you on. And yes, for the listeners on here, please reach out to Chief. He's one of the best people that we have in the fire service and just a phenomenal human being. If you found value in the show and you know someone that would find value in this episode, please share it to get the word out. Let's increase the love and the brotherhood and build on the legacy of the fire service, man. And until next time, we will catch you on the next episode. See ya.
Thanks, brother.